Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry takes the win and ties it up 1-1. And here we go into Game 3. We're going to Iron Fortress here. This next matchup. Now this one is going to be pretty cool because these two players are actually going into the same group of Star League on Thursday.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit more awkward and a little bit more difficult as well, because no doubt their teams are going to be like, hey man, you better play your best in Pro League. We know like Star League's important to you, but this is the most important thing of all. We have to get the wins in Pro League right now.
I think this is a cool preview for TY, right? We don't see him that much this season. Only 10 times we're in round 4. This is much, much less play than we saw last year. Only played one game against Protoss. He lost it. But this is a good preview, I feel, for how well TY is going to do in Star League tomorrow. Like, how well is he actually going to do against his Protoss? Like, against Classic, he's got Hyun in his group as well. How much depth can he show us? It's just a preview because this is simply a best of one, but I like what you said, you know. You don't want to show builds for the matches on Thursday.
But it's a good opportunity to send a message once again. It's all about sending messages, well, communicating to each other through beating each other down.
Oh my god. 12-3, 6-0.
Beautiful. Stunning results from Classic. He's really been on top of his game for a while now. 1-2 versus TY in unofficial, so they have a little bit of history.
Didn't TY beat him in the final match in the Pro League Finals last year with 2-Rax Proxy in the last game?
Oh.
That's one of their matches. That's one he's definitely going to remember.
I do remember that. That's a beautiful thing.
Cost him his champion. Cost SK the championship. So maybe wants some revenge here. TY trying to prove himself. The winner of this match will take the lead. Let's go into it. TY versus Classic. Terran player in red. It's TY with the bottom left.
Bottom right, we do have the SKT Protoss Classic. Recent IEM winner from Shenzhen, defeating his rival Parding.
Yes. Also a GSL champion and also the defending Star League champion.
Killing his teammates in all of them, funnily enough.
I'm going to say something. I think Classic's the best player in the world right now.
You gonna say that? You gonna say that?
I think so.
Wow.
His record is incredible across the board. He's won 3 different titles recently. You know, he has one of the best win rates in Pro League. He's shown a lot of depth in his play. His weakest performance, actually, of all, was in Kespa Cup recently, where he had to play on those crazy maps that weren't really figured out yet.
And he hated them, and he lost to Flash, of all people. So, that makes sense as well. I do agree with you. He's the top performing player right now. Like it looks like he has no weakness. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I mean, you do have like great players for each race, but you know, Maru's stumbling, Dream's stumbling, Sue, Biel. None of these guys have like consistency like Classic right now.
I feel like as we close out this year, we'll see if he can keep up that consistency. You know, his group is on Thursday. So he's got a lot to prove there as well. But, you know, I just feel like personally right now, I think he's the best in the world. I mean, just results-wise, it's hard to just crown someone the best player in the world when
Not until BlizzCon, mate.
Yeah.
That's when you crown someone.
And also when there's so many tournaments ongoing that he's playing, and it's like, well, he was the best player in the world in recent results, but what about right now? So
yeah.
But I like this guy. I think he's got a lot of versatility in the matchup. You know, Valdez has actually been studying his play quite a bit in this matchup. He's been kind of an innovator for faster third Nexi, and has, I feel like, led the way to a certain extent in how this matchup has been played. Him, SOS, and Myungshik are really the 3 players that are changing the way you take a third base, all in different ways. Classic still using the Robo, SOS putting on a lot of fake pressure, and then, you know, Myungshik just doing his Phoenix play or just kind of doing his own sort of thing with Oracles. And
yeah, one thing as well with Classic is he really started showing the way with how to make a SimCity against Terrans on these bigger maps, especially that stop Hellion run-bys, you know, really deflect a lot of the early aggression that can come.
Yeah.
This is a good map to do it on, so we might even see it this time around. Depends what he's really expecting from TY as well.
Something to point out, as far as I could tell, Classic didn't even, start his Zealot. He was just really confident he was going to be able to get that Nexus down.
Oh, didn't notice.
That was a really cool move by Classic. Like, he knows this map so well that he could actually hide that. But TY should have noticed. It was kind of a big mistake, and now he's actually going to free scout. Because the probe saw the Reaper as well. So, I mean, he knows where his opponent spawned.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
he's got a tight wall, though. With a reactor.
Yeah, probably going to reactor out some Marines, get a bunker down, then a factory. Well, look at that. Very quick third command center as well. So he's playing the greedy game, playing much like his big brother Flash does.
Oh, he doesn't actually click properly. It's going to cost him his probe. Can the Reaper body block? No, he saw that. But, I think that Classic will just, immediately go into Robo from here because he could scout early on. He's also going to be able to do a follow-up scout with this Mothership core. I think he's just going to take a super fast third base in response to this.
He certainly should. It's either, when you go for such a fast command center like this, you don't really have to worry about any sort of aggression early on as the Protoss player. So get a third base, start the upgrades coming, start that Colossus production, and get ready to weather the storm in the late game because that's where the style that we've been seeing more and more, especially from Flash, really starts to shine.
We're definitely not going to see any, he doesn't need to make early gateway units. Besides these first few Stalkers.
Oh, wow. One more zap would have done the trick.
But he doesn't have to really worry much about early aggression, even if it's a drop play. He's going to have detection now. He's got a few Stalkers here. So he can actually be really greedy with his tech. Looks like Forge is going to be the way to go about it, not a quicker Robo Bay, which I was expecting to see. But this can give him cannons. This gives him a little bit more flexibility against that drop play. He doesn't know it's a third CC just yet. His Mothership core did get pushed back. His first Observer is going to go across the map in just a second. And that's going to be the first real vision he gets of this CC.
Reaper is staying outside, preparing to deflect any probes that may come out to put down a proxy pylon or even just scout a little bit. Try and take the middle of the map here.
Yeah, or even to take a fast third Nexus.
That as well. There's a lot of reasons why you want a Reaper out there. Keep it alive as long as you can. There's that bay you were talking about, so Colossus will be on the way, plus that armor upgrade.
So just taking this a little bit safer until he scouts what's going on. Oh, this Observer, if it flies right over this, if TY scans, he could actually stop the scout and see if he is on top of it.
Certainly has the command centers to do it. He's looking at it, doesn't choose to do it there.
Yeah. Looks like he just dropped a mule right before or something.
He just wants to get super greedy right now. Nothing but STVs, as many mules as possible. And it looks like some light harassment with a double mine drop.
2 cannons are on the way, though. And so this is going to be tough to do big damage, even as an Observer in position. We'll chase this Observer down, though. Already got the vision it needed, but as I was saying earlier, Classic is just totally cutting the gateway units. 3 Stalkers is all he wanted. He knows bio attacks are just not feasible. They're not going to happen. And it looks like he's, I'd say gearing up to take a third base pretty soon. He's adding a few gates before he does so.
Yeah, probably wants to stabilize this a little bit longer, maybe wait for that upgrade, or just, there's gateways, so he does have the army to kind of buffer for the Colossus and get ready for this double drop that's going to be coming his way in just a moment.
So Reaper's distracting over here. Nexus cannon goes down, and TY just abandons the drop completely, does not even attempt.
Look how late the engineering bays have started for TY, by the way. That is some very late upgrading. I think we might see like a 1-1 timing just based on how late they are. I feel like it's like, you know what? These are so late. It makes sense because you're going to get a huge army super quick with 3 command centers like he did. And behind that, 1-1 on the way at that point. Maybe that's going to hit at the right time. Hard to say. Either way, they're so late.
I don't really like these siege tanks. I feel like they're not very useful. This is TY's trademark. It's almost like fan service. If you look at his pin, his logo for Star League, he's got the sun because that's what his name actually means, Taeyong. And then he's got the siege tank there because he's known for making siege tanks in all matchups to be defensive. And sometimes even pushes with them. But he's like continuing to make siege tanks. 1 siege tank, I'm okay with it. 2, it's like, and then 3. The more siege tanks you make in this matchup, the less useful it's going to be. It is going to help him defend this attack here, but TY could, or rather, Classic could easily just back off and take a third base and kind of poke at that third CC and not actually attack into those tanks, which are very expensive.
Yeah, he shouldn't really be too pressured to do it. They're very immobile. It's a very big map to be defending all 3 bases on with something like tanks. And just this pressure, 5 SCVs went down for absolutely nothing. And that command center is going in a weird location.
Yeah. He's got an SCV to the top left. It's almost like he wants to make a hidden base, too. But with the CC going in that weird direction, it's like, I'm not even sure what he's got planned over there. Let's just wait and see, I suppose. Dark Shrine is going to be giving a little bit more harassment potential to Classic. I think he's probably a bit confused. He's like, where did you send that CC?
It's like, yeah, that's...
Like,
I could check the top left of the map or something? Like,
I mean, Classic is poising aggressively, but TY is totally taking the bait. He's making 4 siege tanks. He's got multiple bunkers set up. He's totally turtling. His third base is like out there, and it's not landed, so he can't even drop mules or build SCVs.
Yeah, that was strange. It didn't really make much sense. He's going to get it up and running now, but this army is not fit for the late game. This is like an army we see get overwhelmed by the Colossus, the charged Zealots and Storms. Like, what are you going to do without Widowmines, without a huge amount of Marauders and Ghosts and Medivacs to help out?
He has no Vikings. He has like 5 Marauders. And let's see how he deals with these DTs. Looks like already not very well. He can't even land the CC, which has so much energy to scan, but without being able to land. Why is the Raven not helping out? Meanwhile, more drops of DTs into the main base. There's a turret here, and he's still not dealing with it.
So many SCVs from every single base going down. 18 already.
He's actually going to go for the snipe on these tanks, maybe? No, it doesn't have blink.
And he can at one point. Everything is just so out of position right now. TY is falling apart in a big way.
He lost 19 SCVs to like 3 DTs. And by the way, these DTs might actually clean this up.
Okay, he does see him. So I thought maybe if there's no detection there, like they would just wipe everything out.
Yeah. Well, now Classic is up 17 Harvesters. He's got 3 Nexi.
He's up against such an immobile army with his army that can recoil at any point after they've done the damage.
Okay, let's see. He's actually got a bad position here, though. He's probably going to have to recall, I think.
Or he can just do godly force fields into recall, into happiness.
Made it look cool.
Made it look cool. He's like, you know what, I'm going to do a little something. Make the fans happy.
He did get a few extra swipes of those Colossi by doing that, so I think it was okay.
Yeah, look at the income. Look at the income advantage right now for Classic. You never want to see that as a Terran player at this point in the game.
This pylon did so much for him. That pylon plus the Warp Prism in the Dark Shrine, insane damage. And Classic's, TY's defense was just totally lackluster. He had a turret in the main base, but he still wasn't paying attention. He had a Raven next to his third base he wasn't using. He just had a sloppy defense. And you know, tanks are great against like big 2-base timings, you know, where your opponent's super all in, but they have not been useful for him at all in this game. Like you said, the map is big, the bases are far away from each other.
Where is he going? He's going to go wrap around the back door, I see, and siege up his tanks over the cliff to the mineral line on the other side.
Well, that's one way to use your tech.
It's cool, but his army's just going to get obliterated when the time comes. There's already enough Colossus out to maybe even go head-to-head with the tanks themselves.
He could just pull the probes out and then either kill this army, or he could go for like a base trade, and he would just wreck it, I think.
He has a lot of options right now. I feel like he could just kill the army.
I mean, that's what he's going to do.
He's got like such huge upgrades. He's got charge in his Zealots. He's got enough Colossus behind that.
Ooh, this drop. He does see it. But this drop could do some damage. Let's see how much this does. It looks like he's going to just charge in here. The turrets are blocking a lot, and the good auto turrets as well. But still, this Terran army is just not big enough. And this drop's going to get shut down. It looks like a ton of Widowmines.
Oh, Widowmines can do something.
Oh, my goodness. That actually could cause some problems in the main base. Classic's starting to drop in supply. And this base is in trouble. Does push this back, but he needs detection. If those Widowmines go off again, it's going to be a disaster.
All 5 of them. He's going for the Nexus as well this time around, but Colossus should be able to clean it up with this Photon.
Okay, he does bring the Observer over there, shuts this down. TY trying to bring himself back into the game. That was a crafty move. Kind of like it.
Yeah, that was a great idea. We see why the tanks were used the way they were. And he kind of did a bit of a multi-prong attack pretty decently. Didn't do too much damage in the main base, but kept him busy for some time and traded out the army pretty efficiently.
Okay, he needs to get this army away, though. The Classic still doesn't have Blink, and he only has a small Stalker force, so he's kind of struggling to chase these Medivacs down.
Yeah, he really needs to get Blink, especially against this many Medivacs.
Yeah, I mean, this is like mass Medivac, no Viking. I mean, it would just be incredible to have. Even with only 6 Stalkers, the utility is amazing.
Looks like Classic's going to posture on the map, but I didn't see him attacking anytime soon. I think he's just building up an army. +2 to armor is nearly finished up there. That could be some.
That's actually +3 even. Like, he's going to have 3-1 to 1-1 briefly, and then the 2-2 is about to finish for TY. So let's see. Okay, this base is being evacuated. TY would love to engage this if he had Vikings. He's actually going to go for a counter Doom drop. So actually he's going to try to make this a base trade. He's got a wall in his natural.
There's a recall available, so it's not going to be able to really catch him out too well. Unless Classic is completely misreading this.
He's walking back, but he's going to lose some tech for sure. He's going to lose his Robo. He's definitely going to lose his Templar Archives. He might even lose his Nexus.
Into the
main. No, they recall. He recalls. And actually, I take everything back. He's going to just shut this down.
Yeah, shutting everything down here. I guess they put the Protoss back over his side of the map, though. It gives TY more time to make the army he needs to fight this, as well as the upgrades to finish in time as well, though he's still going to be down at least one armor upgrade.
Classic really not hesitating in that defense as well. Like, he insta-recalled. He wasn't like, let me recall in a second after I get this base. He just was very decisive there. This Zealot harass should do a lot of damage because these Zealots do have charge. There's no bunker. There's very few units nearby. And the loss of mining time at the very least is very frustrating here for TY. As you can see, he's, you know, only got like 200 minerals or so in the bank.
Supply lead getting bigger and bigger for Classic right now. He remains on 3 base, not choosing to get a 4th just yet. He's investing in the Storm now.
And Blink. So that's an upgrade we've been wanting to see for a while. He only has 3 Stalkers on the map at this moment in time, but we can always remax on those later. With 4 High Templar, when Storm does finish, and those Templar have been out for a while, they're probably going to have about 2 Storms each. So this is going to be a tough engagement for TY. He will have some Ghosts with his army, most likely when the fight happens. This DT is looking for some damage. I think there are turrets up. Yeah, there's a turret right there. It's a bit out of position, but I think...
yeah, you can start working on the SCVs until the scan comes.
Yeah.
I do like that. Ooh, big scan in the middle of the map, looking for the army. Sees it.
Okay. Storm nearly finished. He's going to try to avoid an engagement until that happens. Just 2 kills here, but it's denying more mining time. It can actually just hide back here. And most of the bio, of course, is away, so this is going to be frustrating as it's in something over there.
Completely maxed out at this point compared to the 180 of TY. They're pretty close in army supply. Mostly in the workers, are they different?
You should have about 4 Storms ready here. Maybe even up to like 6 or so, with 2 more High Templar joining in. Actually, 4 more High Templar joining in. He's got a lot.
I think there's 2 Templar going up north. Maybe they're looking for SCVs. Hard to say, but here we go.
Storms on these Vikings, incredible here, but he needs to follow it up with Storms on the bio as well. All right, these upgrades for this Protoss army are so good. And look at this, Archons at the front to tank with these Zealots, doing so much extra splash damage. One of the Colossi wasn't even fighting, but it still doesn't matter. He just crushes this army. The Vikings fell too quickly. Those Templar from the top weren't even necessary. And I think that's just too much damage here.
It's way too much damage once again. Protoss overwhelming the Terran player. GG. Classic, you know, he held on, made the army of his dreams, and then steamrolled when he had to.
Very stylish, kind of snazzy play at a TY, but at the end of the day, standard play works better. The finger wag, see you on Thursday.
Yeah, the Dark Templar harassment just ruined that game for TY. It ruined everything he had planned. Everything was so much slower and smaller than it would have been.
That it was, Moonglade. Well, guys, get your friends in here. Tell them to tune in because, you know, the next match could force us into an ace match. We'll have to wait and see. But this is definitely going to be a good one. It already has been so far. We saw the first match went to KT. But SK taking 2 wins back-to-back now. 1 win away from taking their 4th win, putting them at 4-0.
That would be amazing. And that would actually be so horrible for KT this round because they are already just above prime.
Yep. They would take a -2 indicator as well. And that would put SK at the top with +11. So, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
It's a scary thing for KT. Yeah.
There's Classic's Star League portrait. It's on the wall here. Starting to build a collection of those. It's a great photo of Classic, one of my favorites. There's his golden hand as well.